What's up guys, Doug Lane, Fast Lane Car Care. We got this 15-16 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's going to get a 35% full windshield. It's got 20% on the front doors, nothing on the back doors. They're factory tinted. And then we got we've got 20% on the factory rear tint to get it close to 5%. That way when cars are behind them, you know, it's not lighting up the whole truck and stuff. So we're going to show you how to do the windshield. These are pretty easy. I'm going to not talk too much about how easy these trucks are, because last car I was like, yeah, these are really easy, and then I made a mistake, got hemmed up. So I don't know if this roll even has enough to do this windshield. We'll slide it out here real quick. Oh, it might be close. It's real close, real close. That's what I'm talking about. Perfect. I don't need this much film, but at this point, I'll show you guys what we got here. That's all we had left, so there's really no point in saving that at all. So set it over there for now and work on getting this straightened out. I already got dryer sheet on this. I use dryer sheet most of the time. I might switch back to soap. I don't know. Bar soap, you just kind of get your hand wet and just not really big deal, nothing fancy, nothing special. The advantage of bar soap for me, it tends to stay wet a little bit longer, so your film doesn't try to slide all over the place while you're trying to lay it on the glass and get it all situated. Dryer sheet, at least when it's hot or warm or whatever, it tends to dry faster than bar soap. So I used to pretty much only use bar soap, and then as I got faster at shrinking and all that stuff, it was like, man, you were kind of waiting on that soap to dry, and you could be shrinking. So I started switching over to dryer sheet. It just goes a little bit faster, I think. But it's also going to depend on how much moisture you use too. I mean, if you spray a bunch of water on your windshield before you do your dryer sheet, it's really not going to go any, you know what I mean? It's not going to dry that fast. But if you just wet your dryer sheet down, and then rub it across the glass, it will dry faster. My experience. So, people ask quite a bit what film I'm using. I use Helios films pretty much all the time, exclusively. I've used Avery. I use Avery flat glass film, which is why the Avery banner's up there. And this is Orbit. It's a lifetime warranty, color stable dyed film. I know a lot of people talk bad about dyed films, but if you have a good dyed film, there's nothing wrong with it. And we're here in Ohio, where Like today, it's supposed to get up to 73, I think, but it's also supposed to be cloudy and rainy. And it was 39 this morning when I woke up, so it's like, it's not hot all the time. You have a lot of cool, chilly weather. It's not, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of intense sunlight for the most part. So I have a few more fingers in this than I really want, but it's not gonna be a big deal. I'm trying to get this knocked out because I really just kind of squeezed this in. I should be working on the other car that's out there right now, but we're not, and it's not a big deal. We got time. It's just getting two front windows, so not really gonna be a big deal there. And they're not gonna be back until like 4 o'clock, and as you can see, it's just after 9. So I figure I'll knock this out real quick, do a little video, show you guys how to do it. There's all kinds of back glass window tint videos out there. I make a bunch of the back glass ones. A lot of people have trouble shrinking, which is why I make them, just kind of help out. I know I struggled a lot when I was first learning, so I try to put that content out. All right, here, see, we got this little, it's not even really a crease, it's kind of like a pinch. I'm gonna call it a pinch. So I'm just gonna push a little air, and I'm just gonna bring it over here to where that is. All right, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and shrink it. Now it's gone. So sometimes you'll get a little bit ahead of yourself and push a little bit sooner than you should. Once you learn how to fix them, it's not a big deal. I mean, you want to try not to, obviously. But especially on a windshield, you know, you need to make sure you don't have any of that stuff. On a back window, a little tiny spot like that, you might take a chance, it might dry out, or sometimes that little pinch will just be in the release liner, and when you stick it on the glass, it won't even be there. But on a windshield, you really don't want to take any chances, because that's the window that people are going to be looking out every time somebody gets in this car. So you really want to make sure that it is on point and it's, you know, as good as it can possibly be. So taking a minute to fix that can save you big time. You know, you get through the rest of the shrinking process, you do your final cut, you do your prep, you do your install, and then you have that in there. And sometimes you can heat it up, use a little chiseler and push it out, but sometimes that's gonna scratch the film and make it worse. So, you know, you just really wanna make sure, especially on windshields, you just do the absolute best possible job that you can do. So right there, I got a little bit of a little pinch there again because I'm stretched out a little bit too far. You can see it don't take a whole lot of heat. You just need a little air underneath there. Apparently this video is going to be all about getting these pinches out. Like I think I kind of explained a second ago, maybe I didn't really explain it. All that is just where you've pushed a little bit too far. You haven't shrank that film enough and you've pushed past where you shrank, and you get that little pinch point. Now, I like to use this felt wrap Bondo card because it's really forgiving. You can still crease the film, but it's a lot more difficult. Oh heck, our line's clear up there, so we're good. It's a lot more difficult to crease it. You still can if you're not careful, but most of the time, once you're pretty decent at shrinking, you're just gonna get those little pinches. And it's not really a big deal to go back past, and you know, like I just showed you about 16 times, push a little air underneath it and then shrink it. Yeah, the customer knows they got a rock chip there. They said it was going to get repaired. They know that it could potentially get worse by doing this, but it's all good. It doesn't look like we're going to have any issues with it. I got a video coming up. I'm going to show you guys something. I've got to buy a guy a windshield because he had his windshield replaced, and they tinted it while I was outside of the car, which who cares, and then they put it in, and when they put the trim panel thing around here, they smacked it and it put a little tiny stress point in the glass, a little tiny, I mean, it was so small I didn't even see it when I started, or else I would have aborted the mission. But anyway, I do his car last week. It would have been 2 weeks ago now, and he wanted limo tint all the way around, all that good stuff. Turned out great. He liked it. He said, man, I want you to do my truck. So I said, okay, cool. So we scheduled an appointment for his truck. It's got 20% on it, so we need to remove the old tint, put the new tint on. Well, I used my steamer, not even my heat gun, I used my steamer to steam off this old film, and it cracked the glass about a 2.5 inch crack. Happened on my watch, so even though it wasn't my fault, I didn't use any tools or anything to take the mirror trim piece off. I left the mirror on. I didn't even need to take it off on those, and so I know that's exactly what happened. And we got to I got talking with the glass shop guy, and you know, he pretty much said the same thing. He's like, man, you got shafted on that. Yeah. So we're gonna do a video about that. I'm gonna show you guys that whole scenario in depth and kind of how I handled it, or handling. I don't know. Still waiting on the glass shop to get me a price on the windshield, and you know, figure out, because of the availability of some stuff right now, see when we can get it and get it installed and all that stuff. So when it comes back, we'll make a video. But I talked to the guy, and he said that when he got when he got it done, it was like $700 and some, and the place he went to was like $300 or $400 cheaper than everybody else. So I mean, that should be your first clue right there. They're cheaper for a reason. Hold the phone, gents. All right, now we're back. So, yeah, the whole windshield deal kind of sucked, but it's all on how you handle this stuff. Like, the most upsetting part to me is it's not even my fault. You know what I mean? Like, I would be less upset or whatever if I snapped that bad boy myself. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. It was something that was already going to happen. You know what I mean? It was the damage was already done, and there was a very good possibility that, you know, take it out on a hot summer sunny day, it would have done the same thing. Maybe not. You know, the window tint might have been holding it together some, but I just happened to be the one holding, you know what I mean, holding the keys when it happened. So I could be like, no, it's not my fault. But you're pretty much gonna lose a customer that way. And you know, some people don't care, but it's worth it to me. Hang on. All right, back again. My favorite thing is when people call and they want to get an appointment today on a Friday of all days because they just got a new car. It's like, no, it's not gonna work. All right, so we're a little bit behind now. We're a little bit behind where we thought we were gonna be. Still got enough time to get this done though, I think. Really, it'll be a matter of getting this one done and then getting the next one done. That's the big thing. So, might as well use both lights just because we can. So on these, you got this big border. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can obviously just cut along the sides. I find that makes the film kind of, it just doesn't want to go where you want it to go. So what I do is I actually leave it in place. We've got a pretty decent border on this, pretty much all the way around, so we don't have to be super concerned with how tight we get it. Make sure we cut it all the way through. Looks like we probably did. And we'll just go ahead and put that right up there. Now, don't get in too big of a hurry when you're doing this, especially if you're not used to doing these, because, you know, like I'm getting a little bit close right there, but I know I have plenty on the bottom. But one slip of the knife, or, you know, one spot where you're not paying attention and you know, you're done. Unless you've got one of those tint markers. One of those opaque tint markers. I've never used one. But I suppose that would be a fix for a light gap if you had a little tiny one. Yeah, I figured I didn't cut all the way through there. Boom. Throw this trash away. We'll snap off a new blade and we'll cut out around the rear view mirror mount. I'll show you a little trick you can use. Just come over here. And we'll just do both. Just do both. Okay. So we turned off the lights, most of the lights. Oh. So let's go ahead. We just get rid of this. Now I'm gonna slide my shoes off. Well, probably not gonna be able to see, but I'm gonna slide my shoe off. And then I like to put my leg right here in between the door and stuff and just get right over top of this border. Now this one's pretty dark, so you really can't see it. I'm sure you're not gonna be able to see it anyway. So let's go ahead, climb back down here and look. And you know, you could do some rough measuring and see about where that is, or you can just wing it. I like to try to keep it pretty close, so that way your mirror bracket and your mirror will actually cover it. Now I'm gonna go a little bit big on this one and basically just cut a square out. 2 reasons. It's a guy I know pretty well. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. That's like spot on. So that's why I take my shoe off. I'm gonna stand on the seat so I can get up there. If you're, I mean, I'm only like 150. So, you know, I'm not really that heavy. I'm not gonna damage any of the, you know, the seat or sticking my leg in between the door and the A-pillar like that. I'm not gonna do any damage. If you're a bigger person, you know, do that at your own risk, I guess. May not work for you. So it's about 9:30. We really need to have this installed, prepped and installed in about 2 minutes. Realistically, that's not gonna happen, but we don't have much time. That's the point. Whoa, come back here. Now, as you can see, I got that. I got my dash towel laid out. Grab a couple of these towels. This and this. Now, I'm not going to use a ton of water in here right at this stage. Just going to rough this up. I like to really hit the dot matrix real good. And then down here there was a car wash sticker that I razor bladed off. You know, heated it up, razor bladed it off, hit it with the Windex and bladed off all the goo, but I want to go ahead and still, you know, scuff it up pretty good with the steel wool, just in case I missed anything. And then of course we'll come back with the squeegee. Well, we're gonna microfiber, you know, take a towel to it first, but then come back across with the squeegee, push that down. So when you're doing this, you want to kind of feel for any kind of particles or anything. Alright, that's that step. Go ahead and wipe, oh, sorry guys. Go ahead and wipe this down. I like to clean the area above and around the rear view mirror button as well, because a lot of times you'll get trash that comes off of that or above that. And that's obviously not good. You get to spray it down again and that stuff will get, whoop, that stuff will get down in your film. And make your install not look the greatest. So try to avoid that at all costs. I mean, you could use a soak rope on this windshield, I think. I just have a problem, like, trying to stuff all that rope down in a little gap like that. And then the big thing is getting it back out without messing up your tint. But I've done dozens of these. So far, no issues. Without a rope, just covering up the dash really well. And that's another thing too. These things are, these sun distributing dash covers are super absorbent. They hold a lot of water. Okay. All right. It may seem like I'm using a lot of water there, but not really. I'm running this at about 70 PSI right now. So I'm not using a ton, but it does have a lot of pressure, and it's got a lot of coverage, and that's exactly what I didn't want to do. So hopefully we didn't gather any trash off of that. We shouldn't, because I cleaned this all pretty well before I prepped it, but you never know. So we'll find out. Okay. I spray the air above my film so any dust that might be lingering over top falls down before I release my liner. I want the dust to get stuck to the liner before I release it, so that way it doesn't get down in my adhesive. Works pretty well. I've noticed a big difference on cleanliness of installs when I started spraying the film between, or started spraying the air between myself and the film. Works on side windows too. You'll see me do that on side windows. Okay. This is why I really like the reverse roll method. Can really kind of get the film where I want it without exposing the adhesive. I don't have to worry about bumping into anything really. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get this basically into place, at least this side, if we can get it to go down that far. Not touching anything really. That's not really working all that well. So we'll just roll out the whole thing. There we go. Okay. There, right there, boom. Just trying to get this on the glass without touching anything other than the glass. It's honestly really nice if you have two people that know how to tint, if you're doing windshields, because you can just really get it into place a lot easier. Okay, so we're going that way. Let's bring it back just a little bit more. My film's already starting to tack up. Not a super huge fan of that. But it is getting like warmer in the shop here the last couple days. So the next batch of slip solution, I will have to up my soap, but I'm not gonna depressurize my keg and just go throwing more soap in there just because it's good enough to make it work. The one advantage to having it less slippery is it's gonna tack up faster, so you know, we don't have to worry about like the temperature change when we go to take them outside. One, because it's gonna be pretty close to what it is in here, so it's not likely to make the film do anything crazy, you know, pop up fingers or curl or anything like that. So like, you know, by the time I get this done and get it outside, after I clean the windows and all that stuff, the film's gonna be, you know, tacked up pretty well, so we shouldn't have to worry about too much. But you can see how I'm doing this. At first pass is always just kind of light pressure, just trying to get things where I want it to go, distributed where I want it to go. And then the second pass is going to be more pressure, and that's trying to get all the little moisture pockets, any residual water, all that kind of stuff out of it. If anybody wants to know, if anybody cares, I am using the Fusion Hybrid Squeegee. It's currently one of my favorites right now. I just love it. It works really well. Now, just for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna run around to the other side. You'll notice I'm not even worried about the bottom yet. Couple reasons for that. The first being, this tool will reach the bottom on this windshield, but generally the bulldozer's my go-to for the bottoms. I may make a pass with this, I don't know, but second, I don't want to flood that area down there, so I'm just kind of letting it do its thing for now. I don't know if you can hear it, but you can hear it like it's tacky. You can hear it like popping as I'm pushing it. That's not the best thing in the world, because you know, if you wait a second, not a second, but if you wait a little bit too long, then you'll get these glue spots when you push it where the glue's already started to dry and tack, and then you try to push that out, it'll kind of like smear the glue. Looks really unsightly. Let's just try to push some of this out with this. See, it actually works pretty well. But you can't really get any leverage just the way this handle is made and stuff, so we're still gonna come back and push it out with the bulldozer. This bottom may be 4 or 5 inches. And I have noticed you're not gonna get 100% removal, extraction, whatever you want to call it, with the bulldozer. Like anytime you use the bulldozer on these windows, you will find when you pull it outside or whatever, you've got some moisture pockets. I've never just been able to get the extraction 100% with the bulldozer. Now, those moisture pockets will dry, especially if it's a sunny day. They won't last very long. Got a couple little pockets right here. So we wanna push above and push below them. Let's try to do more of those. Basically, as long as you look at the outside of the window and it's not silver, it'll dry. But it's really important on windshields especially to, you know, let the customer know and really kind of help them understand that it is completely normal to have little moisture pockets, and they will go away. I always tell them sunlight is the best friend, is its best friend right now. Leave it out in the sun if you can, in direct sunlight, and that will cure it faster. So we'll get this cleaned up. I got one little finger right there. I should have shrank before I put it in, but I knew it wouldn't be a big deal on this one. Go ahead and wipe this down. So you can see right there's where it's at. Not a huge deal. We'll hit it with the heat on the inside just a little bit. Shrink that out. 943. That's not terrible. So like I said, I'm a little bit behind for the day now, but at least this one's done. Okay, go ahead and flip that down. Pretty much all we have to do is push this little finger out. Clean up the rest of the windows. Put it outside. Well, put our mirror mount back on. So we'll do that. Another thing you could do is you could use like a shop towel. Put that somewhere where it's not gonna catch on fire. You could use like a shop towel and a hard card and push that out. Because sometimes what it'll do is it'll have a little bit of residual moisture, and that's what will keep that from, it's just not getting all the moisture out. So sometimes you can push it with a hard card, and that'll keep that moisture from getting sucked back in. Hard card and a paper towel. So, there we go. Just touch this with a little bit of heat. This little spot right there on the side. Kind of the same deal with this felt wrap card. It'll suck up some of that moisture. The heat will help it tack up. And we'll push that out and it'll be good to go. So, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Got a couple little things to touch up on this real quick before I stick it outside. Obviously clean it up, put the mirror mount back on. Try to, you know, get any drips or anything like that off of there. And I got a little bit of clean streaks here I want to touch up, and of course I got this little that little fold mark right there, which is real frustrating because I didn't get one on the other side, and I double cut my patterns so the patterns are the exact same. But it's neither here nor there. We'll get this knocked out real quick, set it outside for the customer. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.